Before we get into the last category, we gotta get into our personal list. We gotta let the people know what we feeling for our top 10s, solo wise. And we gotta let them know like what we feeling, what our taste palettes are like.
Yes, sir.
So now it's time for us to give our top 10, our personal top 10 list, not the podcast, not the show's top 10 list. And B, I want to give off some honorable mentions first.
All right.
My first honorable mention, Absol. We already talked about it. Absol's one of my favorite rappers. I'm just glad to see him still rapping, still doing his thing, and also trying something new, having a new concept album. Second one, Tyler the Creator's Cornucopia. Really good concept. Really good rapping performance. I really enjoyed the rollout for this album as well. This is a really stellar project for Tyler the Creator. Definitely a top 3. Number 3, Blue Lips. Schoolboy Q. You probably looking like, yo, what is this list right here? Schoolboy Q, phenomenal performance. Great performance. Especially with this comeback after his 4 to 5 year hiatus. Good. Kid Cudi's Insane on Nitro Mega. Man. I had to eat my words with this one. Because I didn't think I was going to check this one out, the Insane. You talked about it.
Yeah.
You said it was cool. I listened to it. I'm like, God dang, I love this album. Especially after the re-listen recently. And number 5, Cochise's Why Always Me. While I don't think the album is great, which is why I didn't hit my top 10, there are some standout moments that I really do love on this album. And it's a really, really fun album that I think you guys should check out if you're missing like someone like a Uzi from back then. Or you want a modern day version of that. But B, do you have any honorable mentions?
I have Lupe Fiasco Samurai. I have Shay Noir. What was it? The Lotus Child. It's Tyler Creator's Chromacopia. I have Black Chai's Wondering. What was it called? Wondering. Black Wondering. Black Chai Black Wondering. I have one more. You know, I'll be going off the head. I was thinking about it, but it's gone. Oh, Soul Burger. It's a mention. You know what I'm saying? I like that one. Nothing else.
Now it's time to get into that top 10, baby. My number 10.
You wanna go back and forth?
Lil Uzi Vert's Eternal Take 2. I had to put this bad boy on there. I thoroughly enjoyed this album.
It's to you. So I ain't
Yeah. 'Cause for me, and this is our favorite.
Yeah.
Our favorite top 10
Yeah.
albums that we really love, we really enjoy, and that we have high replayability for it. Lil Uzi's Eternal Take 2. Uzi was back in form on this one, and while he did age out of his demographic, I feel like this is the Uzi that I've been missing ever since Eternal Take 1. And so the fact that Uzi gave me Uzi again, and it felt like a nostalgia hit for me. I had to put it as number 10.
Yeah.
What about you, B?
My number 10, I talked about this album earlier. Black Kai and August Fannin. Otherwise, a blur. An album I listened to in September when it dropped. Went back to it and I just cannot stop playing it. Black Chai. I love the stream of thought rapping. I just love that. And especially on these beats, it layered so well to me. I really appreciate this album, bro. I really wish I just stuck with it but I'm like, dang. Now I just can't stop playing it, so it had to be my top 10. I'm sorry. Even though it probably shouldn't be, but I had to do it.
Hey, B, it's your 10.
Yeah.
Number 9. You didn't want this to be in my top 10. Gucci Mane's Wild Trappers. Yes, sir, baby. Every time I listen to this project, I love it. I love it. Gucci Mane's one of my favorite rappers of all time. Gucci was one of the rappers that I always listened to during middle school and high school, especially with this album right here, kind of cementing his era from mixtape era Gucci from 2005. I mean, not 2005, but 2008. Up until all the way to the Trap God era of Gucci, which is one of my favorite eras of Gucci. Oh my gosh. And him going over similar production that he did back then, kind of going up to chronologically where he was in his career at the time and choosing beats from those eras. Oh my gosh. Gucci gave me what I wanted on this album. Yes, sir.
I had one honorable mention I forgot. Was Kai, the thief next to Jesus. I didn't put it in my top 10 because I didn't have much time with this album. You know, I didn't listen to it thoroughly enough to put it in there. But
Your number 9?
Rock Marciology. Going back to this album, like you said, I even liked it more. It was songs on here I loved already, like with Tapeworm. But bro, Rock, production wise, is good, but it's not the best that I wanted. But I'm still getting Rock, and it's hard to not have Rock not in my top 10 if you put out an album beat, because it's hard to top that. You know what I mean? The rapping on here, I love some. I ain't gonna lie, I love some of those loops he did on. I think he produced those 2 tracks I really love too. Rock, just some of the hardest pimp-ish, make you want to slap your, you know what I mean? And he just say stuff so just, I don't know how to say it. Like, he could say something that's so simple. Him and Kai has this in common. They could say the most simplest like bar, and it has multiple meanings to it. And it's like not too many people is that special, bro. And like you said, how he'll bring up the internal rhyme schemes and stuff like that. It's just phenomenal, man. And like this dude just seems like he either like getting better or he just too good to like not slip. So Rock Marciano Marciology. It will be higher, but it was an album that didn't stay in my rotation for the full year. And I kind of, went back to form with it at the end of the year. But my number 9.
My number 8, Saw Baby, Saheem.
Hey.
That boy.
That's honorable mention as well.
That boy came to rap, for what usual Thug Babies do. This album for me, as someone who's a fan of Saw Baby, someone who's been re-going over his discography last year, and now to finally see this album come out, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect the best from it. But from the single that he released earlier this year, that I was loving, to this album right here that he released, sounding like Young Thug back in the blog era, but a more polished and better version of what Young Thug was doing. I just gotta say that Saw Baby really did his thing, and he really proved himself with this album to be one of the better Thug Babies out of the bunch. Saw Baby, Saheem, I'm really proud of what he did on this album. Great jams. Every time I go to this album, I'm enjoying myself with this. I'm having a fun time with this. But that was my number 8. Saw Baby, Saheem. What's your number 8?
My number 8, I had to force him in there, B.
Pause.
Cavalier, Sign. I don't know if it's Sign or is it Signa, but man, like, I had to, B. It's another album that I always return to. It just always, it's perfect for the fall. I wish it snowed here. Production is just my thing, and in the way that Cavalier is rapping on these beats, and just, I don't know, man. It's just, like I said, it's my bag. It's like when you hear an album and it just feel like it's perfectly made for you. And I feel like this is something like this. Like, me and this guy, we got the same brain. You know what I mean? Like, it's like those people when, like, I told you, like, the Will Cherry joint. Like, if you can make an album, you can rap, like, and make something, it'll be that. I feel like if I can be a rapper and create something, I want to create something like this, bro. And Cavalier and Child Actor put out a really great album, man, and I really enjoyed it. Keep up the good work, man. I'd love for them to collab again on a full length project. But that's my number 8.
My number 7, Future and Metro Boomin's We Don't Trust You. I don't know how I didn't like We Still Don't Trust You as much as I did this album. But after going back and doubling back, after the whole beef and stuff died down, going back to this album, and as a huge Future fan, this is the best project that he put out this year. And this was the most, I will say, anticipated collab that should have been done during the blog era run that Future was going on with Monster, 56 Nights, and Beast Mode. But for some reason, he did it later on in Metro Boomin's career. And while Metro has become a better producer, a more cinematic producer, especially when it comes to his trap beats.
Got better at his drums.
He did. I think that what Metro Boomin gave Future on this album really made Future shine and stand out to where Future didn't really even need that many features on this album. Even though he really doesn't do many features in general, he didn't really need many on here, and he sounded so good on this album. Oh my gosh, there's so many songs I go back to on this album that I can't even count. But yeah, my number 7, Future and Metro Boomin's We Don't Trust You. B, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is Kendrick Lamar, GNX. This is an album that's still in rotation for me. I find myself every day quoting, I either saying, hey now, say now. I'm even saying, squabble up. Squabble up. Hey, I'll be doing that all the time to my girl. Like, hey, she be like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's my bitch. Like, it's things on here that I like. I really enjoy it because you got, the West Coast Kendrick on this. You got, Kendrick actually letting out his frustrations with the game on this with Whacked Out Mirrors and just, discussing everything that was going on over the year. And then, Gloria and Reincarnated, rapping in different perspectives. You got pretty much all what Kendrick does, and some things that's new he's doing with the West Coast stuff. Not saying he haven't had songs in the past, but like this right here is like a different bag for him. I really enjoyed this project, man. It's one that I still play, bro. Like I'm going back and I'm playing this. Especially like Darja Blue is like my joint. That's one of the ones I like. If I like to put on music and I'm feeling clean. Well, you know what I mean? It's just one of those, bro. Like, I like this album, man. I thought it would be higher on my list, but it falls at 7, and I'm fine with that. Kendrick Lamar, GNX. I know isn't a lot of guys top fives, top threes and stuff this year. So my number 7.
My number 6, Curveball. J. Cole's Might Delete Later. J. Cole to me had a big redemption arc after
You about to
that
delete
party.
this list, right? Know what you said?
Look, J. Cole Might Delete Later, I never expected it to be on here, but when I look back at the year of me re-listening to all of J. Cole's albums, me actually looking at the songs that I would add to my playlist that I would keep replaying from Might Delete Later, certain songs like Hunting Wabbits, Not Hide Your Chick, dang, I forgot the one that him and Boss, but obviously he gave the...
B, how's your list worse than B Dot's? Like, how?
It's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
B.
Because he's serious.
No, you serious?
Well, I mean, like, he's serious. Like, you know the pigs be. That's the effery list. He never gave the list. To me, J. Cole gave a really good performance, especially with 7-minute drill being off of there and him not having that pressure of actually being in the beef at that moment. A surprise drop just full of Cole songs that, you know, he's like, yo, just get hyped for that fall off. And while there are some things that are very corny on this album, that I'm just like, J. Cole, come on, dog. There's some really good facts. There's some really good rap performances on here from J. Cole that there's some songs on here that I just go back to often. And funnily enough, I don't be going back to that. And then things up, whatever that one
You
is.
can me too.
Yeah. I don't be going back to that song. But when I listen to the
You should be
album,
going back to the album.
I actually really like the album. I'm not saying it's the best that J. Cole came out with, but I do think it's top 5 J. Cole.
I listened to it recently because I had to review it. Yeah.
What's your number 6 be?
Let me go back to my list, bro. All right, my number 6 is from the guy, you know what I mean? Quandary, Asking Magnolia, man. A project that I still go back to now. Quandary was like I said in I did a written review a few days ago. It's just it felt so familiar, but it felt I was familiar with his work, but this felt different from him. But the album, the mixtape, I said mixtape, but the album gave me that mixtape blog era vibes. Like it reintroduced me into something that I loved, and that's the feeling I got from this album. And I feel like now this album is gonna place a little special place in my heart because I was thinking it was crazy. I was talking about I don't feel connected to albums no more, and then boom, this came out, and I an instant connection. This is someone that's from our era, and somebody that's put out something, from the South, and he's a different type of Southern kid. He has all these inspirations from all over the globe, and you could hear it and feel it in the album. And the storytelling was really good, and I really enjoyed it, man. It felt like a film to me, and it was short, sweet, straight to the point, man. And I really enjoyed it, bro. And I still find myself going back to this project. Quandary, Asking Magnolia. You guys haven't heard it. I'm pretty sure. I never heard anybody say nothing bad about this project. You know what I mean? So
Sorry.
check it out.
My number 5, D2X's The Hunger Era EP.
Hey,
Getting into the top 5.
honorable mention for me.
Honorable mention for you?
Just because it wasn't an album, it was an EP.
Yeah. See, I was like, dang, I'm counting this as an album. I don't care. No offense, D2X, but this is longer than Daytona. I thoroughly enjoyed this album. I had to eat my words because D2X, he was hyping this album up on the timeline. I'm like, you can't hype it up this much. But man, when it came out, me replaying it months later, I'm like, God dang, this boy is hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, this album feels so good. And it's so great to see someone our age, someone that came up in the blog era as well, young kid from Chicago, really doing his thing on these type of beats, this type of production. And this album to me is kind of EP. It's kind of like a 180 from his Hotel 1105 album. And I just didn't expect him to come so aggressively on this album like he did. To me, he didn't say anything corny on this album.
Yeah.
And it's very rare for someone who sees himself as a lyricist to not say something corny. God dang, you can see the fire and the passion within D2X's voice.
Not a wasted bar.
Exactly. He has something to say, B.
Yeah.
I gotta say, D2X, you did a phenomenal job. I had to eat my words. I was like, this boy's hyping his album too much because when it comes out, man, at this point, it didn't. It's my top 5. This is the album, especially that song with Wow. Oh, man, so good. But B, go ahead, tell us your number 5.
My number 5 is Vince Staples' Dark Times. Oh, man. This was a very, very, the album feels dark in a way. You know what I'm saying? You have these light moments, like you said. What's that one song? I'm high and they go harder.
I think it's The Homies.
Yeah, but when you hear, he don't seem he's giving off how Kendrick look in his music videos to me. Kendrick be
Look on that dang cover.
like even that, like if you watch his videos and he just don't seem like he's into it, and it's just all this stuff going around. That's kind of how I felt about Vince in the last few years. Like he seemed like he's just not like there mentally. You know what I'm saying? But like the rapping, the beat selection on these projects, the content, the context, like in the projects, I really love it, bro. I love like the stuff that he's talking about, and saying how these was like the dark times, but also he had some of his best times in some of those moments when he was bringing up like childhood stuff and things like that. But that's my number 5, Vince Staples' Dark Times. Really amazing project, in my opinion. I love it.
Number 4, Will Cherry, Somewhere in Ohio.
Hey.
You said this is an album that if I were to make music, this is the music I would make. You got that right.
Yes, sir.
This album was so good. It felt like such a breath of fresh air. And even though he does wear his influence of Travis Scott on his sleeve, I still really enjoy it because, like I said, this is coming off like a humble Travis Scott. The sonics of this album, the way that he actually produces and orchestrates an album, the way he places certain things. His rapping ability, obviously, is not the best, but the way that he uses his rapping ability and the way he fits on the beat, he crafts this whole album to kind of tailor make it made and it fits for him. I really enjoyed it.
And then using his features as elements of the project too. That's his.
Goes to
He's
that
a curator.
orchestration.
You could tell. Yeah.
I really enjoyed this project. It's not too long of a project to listen to. And man, the pacing of it, the way that it sounds sonically, like I said, to me, this is good music. I really enjoyed it. High replayability for me. Will Cherry's, Somewhere in Ohio, as my number 4.
All right. My number 4 is Freddie Gibbs. You only live once. This is in my top 5 because, like, Freddie gave me like nothing but straightforward Freddie bars over some like Benny X production, some like come on, I'm like it didn't like, even though it's like on one chord pretty much when you think about production, like nothing is like it's not crazy, like he's not on his Mad Lib tip, but he was rapping. And like when Freddie raps, bro, even though he has some outside stuff, but when he raps, you believe him. And that's one thing you just can't, like, you just can't get out of it. You can think about all the like shenanigans outside, but when you hear this man rap, you like, I'm in. You know what I'm saying? It's just like he brings you in. Like he is a really good rapper. Like the voice, the flows. It's just he's the total package when it comes to like as an MC, as someone that can attract somebody. Like I can like be like, get this to my cousin, let him play it. Like that's not even into stuff like this, but this right here is like, I feel like it's more accessible in a way. I can just be like, I'm gonna play this, bro. Like you'll like this. You know what I mean? Like I could just give people bandana.
No, yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? Or pinata. Even though there's some joints on there, but like I can just give you this because it's like modernized like production of like you can hear some of your favorite rappers on this beats, and like Freddie just does Freddie on them. And I don't know, bro. I remember when I played it for the first time, I was like, all right, it's cool. And then I remember that one day I just couldn't stop playing it. Like I went from playing it in the headphones and to being in the car and then getting at home, putting it on the bigs and just like, I love it. So it made my top 4, man. My top 5. My number 4, Freddie Gibbs, You Only Live Once.
My number 3, you gonna kill me for this one.
No, I'm not, bro. What is it?
Glorilla, Glorious. God dang it. Another one. I gotta eat my words. I listened to everything earlier this year. We both reviewed it. And I was like, she can't not saying that this is a great project, she can't top this. But as a debut project, especially amongst all the female rappers,
This one though, B?
out of all of them, I think Rap City is the best one. But this is coming into enjoyment.
Yeah.
Songs that I go back to. Songs I'm playing in the whip. Songs that, like I said, have replayability. Because for my top 10 list, we got to talk about the replayability.
Yeah.
But then I also got to factor in the year that Glorilla had as well, leading up to this album.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, you had hits on that mixtape, but you still got hits even coming off this album right here. Her deeming herself as the Queen of Memphis. I believe it. Not much competition, but I believe it. And this is one of, if not the best female hip hop album that came out. Obviously not based on lyricism, but based on like the impact and like what all she's been doing this year. I would have had her lower, like in the top 10, but I was like, God dang! I'm like, there's some really good songs on here. And Glorilla really impressed me with her performance on here. Compared to her EP I heard last year to this right here, big jump. really good, solid music with high replayability, and it's just so fun. She knows what lane she's in. She tries to go over different production off the Boss Man D-Lo. I really enjoy this album right here. Glorilla, Glorious, her debut project, really strong debut project, especially for a female because there's a lot of female MCs, and while they do talk about the same things, I think Glorilla's sound sounds so polished. I had that money behind it, to where it's like, dang, I can't deny that this sounds good.
Yeah. Well, my number 3, bro made my list twice. I had to do it. Cavalier, Different Type Time is my number 3. This one is like a longer project, more fleshed out, more personal. He was more in his artsy bag on Cena, but he also talked about some personal things. But on this one, like he talks, he got humorous stuff. The production is more like I say traditional in his lane, not more experimental like it is in a child actor production with Sinai or whatever, Scene or whatever, Sign. The rapping on here, the production on here. This album right here is another album that I was like, yo, this is just amazing, B. And I'm making the purchase. I'm gonna say this here. I'm buying both of the albums on vinyl. I took my time. I know this album is like $75 at retail because it's the way that he made it, and also the cover is made out of like, I don't know. It's like I forgot the name of the
Swipe?
No, it's not the quality. It's the picture. It's a picture quality. Like I just can't.
Picture disc?
Nah, I'm talking about how the picture. Can't think of the name. It's film. I think it was shot on film, and it's actually the cover is actually like this film photo or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, and I think like the disc is album is amazing, bro. It's made my top 3. Is this something that I played, and this came out the top of the year, and I played it all the way down. This is one of those.
I remember.
So Cavalier, Different Type Time, man.
Top 2. My number 2. Freddie Gibbs, You Only Die Once.
Yes, sir.
It's Freddie.
It's only you only die once. Why I keep saying you only live once? Because I'm thinking
You only die once.
it's only you only
Because the other one was You Only Live Twice.
you only live twice. I meant you only die once, bro. My bad.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
I had it on there though.
But yeah, Freddie Gibbs, if you guys are new to this program, one of my favorite rappers. Freddie Gibbs gave a great stellar performance. This is an album that I needed from Freddie outside of his one rapper, one producer thing that he has with Alchemist and Madlib. To me, this was one of those albums that's a spiritual successor to You Only Live Twice, to where this kind of gives me to know of like what's happening in Freddie Gibbs' life right now, what's he thinking right now, where's he at mentally right now, and some of the production that he goes on. And it's always good to just hear Freddie rapping because he can rap. He's going to rap really well. That's one of the best things about Freddie. 1, his beat selection, but 2, his rapping ability itself, his flows, the lyricism itself. Freddie is such a good like rapper on this production. He has such character, such charisma. It's like Freddie is fierce on this type of stuff. And then like on the last track, God dang, they done God Diddy. I'm like, oh my gosh, break fees. Yeah. I hate that they took Anniversary off of.
That's one thing I didn't bring up. We need that back.
Yeah, we need that back because that sample, Tony Anniversary. Yeah. We need that back on streaming, Freddie. But yeah, You Only Die Once. Phenomenal album.
Raphael Sadiq say, yeah.
Facts.
On the label.
But yeah, my number 2, Freddie Gibbs, You Only Die Once.
My number 2, bro, is Blue Lips. Schoolboy Q. Like,
that's the number 1. Okay.
Yeah, like so, Schoolboy Q, Blue Lips, man, an album that came out earlier in the year. I kind of wasn't playing it in the middle, but when I went back to it, I was like, this is still in my top 10. And I was trying to figure out the placement, and at this point, yes, I probably played some of these albums more, but I was just going by experience as well. And I feel like Q came and done something like I wouldn't say not a passion project, but just something that he wanted to do, like something a little different. But he still was Q. It still was Q. He didn't lose who he was while trying to experiment and do different things, especially with production, beat switches, and some of the production choices was like, doom doom doom. It's like some stuff I'm like, what the hell is it? But anyways, and like even how he was rapping on some of this stuff, I don't know. I really enjoyed it, man. And I'm like, yo, Q stepped out of his bag and still remained Schoolboy Q, and I enjoyed that, bro. And going back to it felt like I listened to it for the first time again, and I like that experience.
That's nice, B.
Yeah.
Now it's time for our number 1. My number 1 is And if you guys have been on this program, if you guys follow the Twitter, you would already know what my number one is. Common and Pete Rock's The Auditorium Volume 1. The lush production from Pete Rock. The great rapping from Common. Common's presence on here. Common does not skip a beat on this album. Common did a goddamn good job. You could tell this is someone who loves hip hop, who embodies hip hop, who breathes hip hop. Who breathes hip hop, I mean. With Pete Rock on the production. Soul samples. This album feels like an album beat. It feels grand. There was no time in this album I'm like, that beat's kind of alright. Pete Rock put his foot in that pot when he was cooking these beats up. And Common, he felt inspired. He felt rejuvenated. Especially with me going through all of Common's discography early this year. Him being cemented in my top 10 of all time in terms of like throughout all of hip hop. This feels like he felt inspired. He was like, yo,
I call it a love letter to hip hop, bro.
It is. That's the perfect thing to call this album because it is. This album embodies what hip hop is, especially from someone who you know loves hip hop. The same guy that dissed Ice Cube, same guy who made I Used to Love Him. Same guy who worked with Kanye West at one point. This album right here, Dilla, was part of the Soulquarians.
Him, the works of what him and Questlove, the Roots.
Him with De La Soul. He even has a Pasta Noose on here. Yeah. Jennifer Hudson.
That is an honorable mention for me as well. I didn't bring that up.
This album for me is my favorite. Songs like This Man, Fortunate, Dreamin'. Oh my God. This album is so fantastic, man. I just wish I could hear it for the first time again and just be surprised with each of the beats on here. I drop a gem in the ocean. Sideways for underground days of this notion. I quarterback like water raps.
Alright, bro. There you go, bro.
I'm on stage because something my daughter raps. Oh my gosh. I love this album, man. But
I know you love it, bro.
I love this album.
Hey,
B,
man.
what is your number one?
Hey, man. Sock Passe, man.
Who?
Sock Passe. Mabule. Mabule, Sock Passe.
No.
You don't speak Creole?
No.
You ain't no rich ass Haitian, man. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Makami, rich ass Haitian. Come on, B. You know
I saw
that.
this coming.
Come on, B.
I was like, this didn't make the honorable mentions. It hasn't been on the list yet.
Come on, B.
Go ahead. Spill
My guy, it's what he been doing for the last 10 years. Is hopping on beats and rapping so effortlessly.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day. Long show. But man, this guy right here, bro, it's like, Makami, bro, is like, you put a little Doom in there, a little Mos in there, and like, who else? Some Jay-Z in there, little Mock in there, hey, little Haitian in there, little Jersey. It's like, bro, this dude, man, is just, even though he has these influences from all these other guys, and you know, what rapper don't? But Makami is still him. He solos him. Yes, he has a funky mic sometimes. Yes, that's his engineering. You probably can't understand it. But for the trained ear, you understand the mock. And some of the directions he took on this project, especially coming like collaborating with the likes of like K-Tronica. What's his name?
K-Tronada.
Yeah, K-Tronada. Why I always mess up his name? I've been listening to this dude for years.
J Electronica. That's what it sounds like.
K-Tronada. And with freaking what's his name on there? What's his name?
Anderson .Paak.
Like in the meanie. 03 Greedo.
Oh.
That song, amazing. Having Rock Marciano on here, just going ham. And like Sojin, my favorite track on here. It just even like when Ma get in that bag, when he get in the slow bag and try to do his little crooning he does, and it feels so emotional, bro. Like, I don't know, man. This album just stayed in my rotation, B. If I felt like I didn't have nothing to listen to, I'm like, man, what should I play? I put this on, and I just fall into it, bro. I'm like, I didn't think that he boosted this album up because like he was talked about it last year, like having listening parties for it, and like when is it gonna drop, and like it finally dropped, and I feel like it lived up to what I thought it was gonna be. And I really hate that I ain't got it on vinyl because I haven't been buying vinyl. But if I find it for a good price, I think I'm gonna buy it because he's been like putting out different variants of it. So if he drop another variant, Mark, I might have to spend that $333 for this.
Ooh.
You know, Maybe they're 1,000. Maybe I want some with a little sand in it. Nah, I'm joking. Not gonna do that. But this album remained in my top 10, remained in my top 2, but not 2. Really enjoyed this project, man. I might have to drive off the whip to listen to this, bro. Because I played it a little bit last, because I gotta actually write about it tonight. This is gonna be my review. I'm gonna put on the IG. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Rock Marciano, a rich ass Haitian, bro.
Matt Conley.
What?
You said
I said Rock Marciano. Oh, my Conley, rich ass Haitian, bro. It's getting late. I've been up since 5 in the morning. Oh, sorry, bro. My Conley, rich ass Haitian.
A person, you said, huh?
Yeah.
I be like, maybe I heard that
Yeah,
wrong.
like, Rock Marciano, rich ass Jamaican.
Rich ain't pimp.
Yeah.
But it's time for the joint
Yeah.
10, the actual like top 10 for the actual show itself.
Yes, sir.
And we're not gonna go in depth
Nah.
with every single album because we already kind of did that. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the honorable mentions we got. Absol Soul Burger.
Yes, sir.
Shay Noir's A Lotus Child. Glorilla's Glorious. D2X's The Hunger Era EP. If you would have called it an album, it would have been top 10 maybe. Dolce's Alligator Bites Never Heal. We gave it crap earlier,
Yeah.
but we still kept saying we thought that it was still a dope project.
It's a good project.
But now it's time for us to get into our top 10, B. Number 10, Quadri's Oscar Magnolia.
Hey, like what could we say? You know, and I think each album we reviewed, right?
Yeah.
Except for Rhapsody.
Yeah,
We didn't
except
review that. You talked about it earlier this year, and I talked about it
Yeah.
today.
So if you've been actually keeping up with the show while we've been jamming, you would have probably already saw those episodes. Number 9, Rock Marciano. Marciology.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, great project.
It was my number 9 as well.
A project that it had to grow on me a little.
Yeah.
Number 8, LL Cool J's The Force. He went back in the lab. He had to reteach himself how to rap, and it shows in the album.
Oh man, he was
flowing.
He did his thing, bro.
Number 7, Vince Staples, Dark Time. While this got lower on my list, I still think that this is a good album.
And I you know how I feel about it. It was in my top 10. B.
Yeah.
At my number 7? No, number 5.
Okay.
It's at my number 5.
Number 6, the one album that we don't have a review for, Rhapsody's Please Don't Cry. Phenomenal album. Rhapsody touches all base for what we want to see in an MC, but also really amazing project from a woman MC that we don't get to talk about enough.
She didn't make our list.
No, she didn't make either of my
But
personal
we
lists.
knew that this was a great album, and it needed its appreciation. So in the you know, a little bit in the middle.
Yeah, this is the most slept on album of the year.
Yeah, it is.
Winner though.
Yes, sir.
Number 5, Kendrick Lamar's GNX.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the greatest Kendrick Lamar album, but I'm also not looking for that from Kendrick
Right,
Lamar.
right.
He doesn't need to one up himself. He's captured in this moment where he's like embodying the West Coast right now. He's the king of the West Coast. And guess what? He gave us a really good project with some really dope jams on there, high replayability, and to me, this kind of lessens the blow of what Mr. Morales and Big Stepper did to me. Even though I don't play this album a lot, there are still some songs where I'm just like, I can jam this.
Yeah. Kendrick Lamar, man. GNX. Me, love this project. Still having it in a rotation, B, every week.
Yes, sir.
Squab a lot.
Yes, sir. Number 4, Freddie Gibbs. You Only Die Once. What have I not said about this album? I'm gonna become a Glaze Fest. The whole album is green because of Krispy Kreme because they know I'm a Glaze on this album right here.
I wonder why it's not white. Yeah, bro. Like we said it, like when we talked about this album in our top 10s, like the flow on these beats. Freddie just stay consistent who he is, man. As a rapper, bro. He just will always like if you want to create a rapper, bro, you'll want to create Freddie Gibbs. Like he has the presence, and he just I don't know. It's just like what could you not like about Freddie, bro? I don't know why.
Besides his antics outside.
Yeah,
of
that's
the
what I'm saying. I'm
music.
talking about as a rapper. Like I don't understand it. I'm like, how do you listen to this and I like this? I don't know.
Yeah, I've never met anyone who has good music taste that doesn't like Freddie.
It's hold up before we go. It's people that heard this and was like, "Yo, why we don't talk about Freddie much?"
That's because of his antics. That's why the antics overshadow the music. He's becoming like Game almost.
Yeah,
Number 3, Tyler the Creators, Chromacopia. While this was in either of our top 10 lists,
made our honorable mentions.
it was still a really
Really good
solid album. Really, really good album.
I feel like Tyler messed everything that he's great at, but also adding a more element when it comes to him being introspective, bringing up, him having a, almost having a child and having to take it to the hitman office. You know what I'm saying?
And him being really personable, him talking to his mom narrating the album, talking about why you don't know your father. I was the reason for that. Just really heartwarming moments, or not heartwarming, but tear-jerking moments.
Yes, sir.
Number 2, Common and Pete Rock's Auditorium Volume 1. Like you said on your written review, a love letter to hip hop.
Yes, it is,
Common
man.
sounds reinvigorated. He sounds inspired. Pete Rock's soulful production.
Yeah.
Someone who I was sleeping on heavily. He woke me up on
Yeah,
this.
you know
one.
them instrumentals being them soul survivors.
I do.
One of them soul brothers.
I do.
Yeah. But no, this didn't make my top 10. I forgot to put it in my honorable mentions, but it is one. Album was a little bit too lengthy for me, but I still really enjoyed it, and I need to go back to it a little more. But it's just sometimes that
The album.
album let me get me.
And sometimes you do be doing the third verses.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
gonna
like,
lie.
all right, I know it's a lull of the hip hop. Give me my two. Give me my two. Give me two.
But then we have our number 1.
Yeah, this one we have to be a little, take a little, what they call it,
A compromise?
compromise. You know what I'm saying?
This is our number 1 album of the year. One of the albums that actually kicked off the show itself.
Yep.
Top of the year.
This is our first review, right?
Nah. Vultures was.
Vulture was okay.
Vultures was.
So this is our second, like,
I think so.
big review.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the number 1 album of the year from the BBC is Schoolboy Q's Blue Lips.
Yes, bro.
An album that is good through and through.
Yes.
An album that we both enjoyed. An album that was well earned and well deserved after a 4 to 5 year hiatus from Q. Q came ready to rap. He had something to say. He's been a father for a little while now. He's been distant from the rap game. He's actually talks about his frustrations. Even has some current events in there as well. Schoolboy Q did his goddamn thing on this goddamn album.
Really
right
well. Really well. And it's just one thing I feel about this album that it kind of goes into like, yes, some people have it in their top 10, yes. But it's like it didn't get a Grammy nomination, which is very weird to me. And that, I don't know if TDE was like, we're gonna
You gotta push the other one.
Hey Q, chill out. We gonna indulge you in it. It's no way that album made it before this album. This album was so well put together. I love it. It's a beautiful mess to me because you don't know, bro. I'm telling you, sometimes I play this album and I'm like, have I heard this beat again? Like I could replay it like I didn't listen to it and like catch something new that this instrumental did, and I'm like, this is crazy. I don't know. I really love it, especially like Thank God for Me. Blue Slide's like one of my favorite. Slide through your whole
Cooties?
Oh, cooties, bro. Man, they're coming to get me. I love how he was talking to Unloyal. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like stuff. I'm like, bro, Q is just different, bro. Like, he's so unorthodox. Right? That's
Yeah.
the word. Like, on when he raps, bro, like, he's just different, B.
Yeah, it feels so. He's
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yes,
all
bro.
the
I
album.
love it, bro. Because that's how the album made you feel. Like,
This is one of those albums where it didn't catch us the first time. We
Yeah,
still
he
did
was like,
multiple listens.
that's,
We were like,
that's
okay.
when I knew that it was something about it. When you be like, hold up, bro, like, did I like that? Or did I, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's that feeling I love. But yeah,
But that was our top 10 and our album of the year. Schoolboy Q, Blue Lips.
yep. That's like our review of the year, B. Like pretty much, like just how all the albums, the artists, first year of the BBC. You know what I mean? It's crazy, bro. It's been a journey.
Man, shout out to Beyond Beats and Culture.